Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your preview for tomorrow's round of World Cup matches. We've been getting shock after shock after shock. Yesterday was Argentina, Saudi Arabia. In the video coming later on tonight, where I round up the entire day of football, I will be talking about what Japan did to a certain... You know the rest. We'll get there later on. Let's preview what is going down tomorrow, and I'll give you my predictions, my thoughts. Starting off, we have a round of games, starting with Switzerland, Cameroon. Then we have Uruguay, South Korea. Then we have Portugal, Ghana. And then we have Brazil versus Serbia. Let's start with Switzerland, Cameroon, which is the early kickoff. It's the 10 a.m. kickoff. Switzerland, definitely looking at this game as favourites, for sure. Switzerland, who... I like what Switzerland are doing. You remember what they done in the Euros? Knocking out France, going all the way to Spain, etc. You remember the shocks that Switzerland brought? That squad, as far as I'm concerned, has only just developed. It's not gone back. I think it's gone forwards. So Switzerland in this group are a team to look at as... am I going to say group winners? Maybe not. But to get through to the last 16, absolutely. Absolutely. Not an easy group, by all means, but they start off their campaign against Cameroon. Cameroon, who are coming into this with, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm looking at all the African countries, they are probably, I'd say, maybe third, fourth best. You know, actually not third, I reckon fourth or fifth. I would go with Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco and Tunisia. You could probably put them either way. And then Ghana, Cameroon is debatable. Right? We'll see what Ghana do against Portugal, because historically Ghana do well. Cameroon historically have done well, but their squads do not look as amped up or as well equipped as their old squads used to look like. Cameroon of old were dangerous. You know, Eto'o, Song, you know, all these guys... Mark Vivian Foe, let's not forget, you know, who's unfortunately no longer with us. They had beasts in their team. Same goes for Ghana. Now they're trying to crop a new brand of players, new, young, promising talent. But they do have a couple of lads that are going to be interesting. Both teams, you're looking at Switzerland, you know the usual suspects in the Switzerland team. Shaqiri, Xhaka, we can add Dennis Zakaria, you know yours truly at Chelsea. Dennis Zakaria, who's currently on loan, there's him. But Fabian Schär, for example, Newcastle centre-back, who has had an absolutely amazing season in the Premier League so far. He is in that backline for Switzerland. They look well equipped. The Switzerland team looked disciplined. They looked very well gelled, very well oiled. And that is why I look at them and I think I like what they're doing. They haven't got superstars, haven't got big blockbuster players, but they've got a very, very nice group. And that's why I'm looking at them potentially to cause more upsets. Even though now, if they do get a result, it's not really an upset, because you look at the Switzerland team and you think they're capable. With Cameroon... Some of you may know maybe a couple of lads from this Cameroon team. Choupo-Moting, for example, Bayern Munich, absolutely. Mbeumo, Brentford, who has been really good at Brentford. Akambi, Lyon, who for Cameroon, as I've seen, has been a key player for them. And that is where you have to be careful. I think attacking-wise, they've got men that can cause some damage. Abu Bakr is their talisman, number 10, captain. In defence is where I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they might leak goals. Cameroon, overall, look, the way that they qualified to this World Cup, for me, was very, very debatable. And if there's any Cameroonian watching, of course, you understand what I mean. The whole Algeria-Cameroon thing and what went down with the referee, especially when you hear two Cameroon internationals coming out and saying, yeah, something might have happened with the ref. It's not a way to get to the World Cup. You don't want it like that. Now they're here. Is the quality good enough? I think in this group, they might be able to perform against Serbia. I don't really see them getting a result against Switzerland, and against Brazil is... let's not go there. But for tomorrow, I think with this Cameroon team, if they have spirit, if they have a block, if they have a nice dynamic in the squad, which is contrary to what I've heard, and what I've read coming from African media saying that it's not so rosy in the Cameroon camp. Why? Because there was a clue in the press conference to Song, the manager, revealing the squad to the press, to all the journalists, in terms of who is going to the World Cup, who is the Cameroon squad, who are the players that have been picked. And he was struggling with some names. That's led to controversy that Samuel Eto'o was the one that picked the squad and not the manager. That is where you have to look at it and go, what's going on? What's going on? If the manager's left to do his job, then cool. And if he can get something going on. But when you start looking at a manager going, and then he doesn't know how to say the guy's name, well, you picked him. Surely you know how to say his name. Press now talking that Samuel Eto'o's influence might have kicked in. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. And it'll be a shame because I want all African countries especially to do well at World Cups. I want to see an African country go to the distance, semi-final. It's never happened. Should have happened. Never happened. It's about time. So when little things start popping up like that, you don't want to see it. Switzerland are a good team. It's not going to be easy for Cameroon. They need to have everything in order. So this is going to be an interesting one. For me, I am going with Switzerland 2. I want to say Cameroon 1. Could be 0. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll move on to the next one. 1 o'clock kickoff. Uruguay, South Korea. Now, Uruguay are a team that I think many of you are looking at as dark horses for this whole thing. And when you look at their team, you can probably see why. Sosa, Godin, Jimenez, Atletico Madrid, Araujo, Barcelona, all sorts of players in midfield, Bentancur, Torreira, Valverde, up front, Luis Suarez, Darwin Núñez, all sorts. Cavani is in the squad, Pelestri, who is a Man United selectee, but they've got a very, very nice group. Against South Korea, Son's men... If we're looking at Son's men, I think Son is probably the one that everyone's going to be looking at to actually, cause some sort of shock to try and get South Korea over the line. South Korea actually have a nice squad. When I look at them and I see names from across Europe, Kim Min-jae from Napoli, for example. There's some other lads that are playing not just here in England, but across the board. I mean, there's Son, there's Hwang Hee-chan at Wolves that we know about. There's some other guys that play Olympiacos and Freiburg and Mallorca. You'd think that they have something decent. Son is going to be the one that I think Uruguay are going to try and just eliminate from the game because you know what Son can do. He is top quality as far as I'm concerned. He is borderline world class, if not already. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game. Do not write South Korea off. After looking at what Japan did to Germany today, and I'll get to that in the video later on, you can't write teams off anymore. You can't. There's no little team at a tournament anymore. There's no little team. Except Costa Rica. But there's no little team, all due respect. This you have to take into context some of the quality that can be in the squad. South Korea definitely have some quality, and that can be used to their advantage. Uruguay, not going to be an easy game though. I expect Uruguay to win. I think Uruguay have much more better dynamic and chemistry in their team than South Korea. So I'm expecting them to get it over the line. But it's not going to be easy. I'm going with I want to say 2-1. 2-1 Uruguay is my prediction for that. Moving on to Portugal, Ghana. Now, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting because Portugal, for me, I want to put as dark horses. The way that I've just said a lot of people are looking at Uruguay is the same way that I'm looking at Portugal. I think they're so well equipped. I think this squad has experience. It's got youth. It's got talent. It's got strength. It's got speed. I think there's good bond between a lot of these lads. And I think their names speak for themselves. They've got some of the best talent, especially in the Premier League, playing in this Portugal team. You can't write off Portugal. You really can't. Cancelo. They've got Dalot, Nuno Mendes, Ruben Diaz. That's just their defence. They've got Pepe there for experience to try and guide them from the touchline probably because I don't think Pepe's actually going to play. When you're looking in midfield, Palinho, who's done fantastic for Fulham, Núñez of Wolves, Ruben Neves of Wolves, Fernandes, obviously, Man United, João Mario, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, João Felix, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is going to be up there waiting for the service, and I do think that the talent around him is going to provide him with the service. So watch out for some Ronaldo goals, because I think it's going to come. You heard it here first. Rafael Leao on the wing, who's been blinding for AC Milan, is on the radar for Chelsea, and there has been some news on that, but it's nothing confirmed just yet. They've got a very, very nice team. Very nice team, very nice stability, good amount of talent, creative, full of flair, and they've got men that can put ball in the net. It's honestly a very, very good side. Ghana, I hope Ghana do well. I really, really hope Ghana do well. This Ghana team has changed. It's not like the Ghana team of old, man. The Ghana team of old used to be dangerous, but now they've got a young team, they've got young ballers coming through. It's a new system, it's a new development, it's a new era in this Ghana team, and I wish them the best, because I've got nothing bad to say about Ghana, man. Ghana, even in terms of their people and just the way that they are, Ghanaians overall, top class. I love the Ghanaians. they're so positive, bright, happy, smart people, honestly. And in terms of their football, they've got great heritage. When you're looking at this Ghana team, I mean, who do I see in this Ghana team? Amati, we've got history of him against Chelsea, that's for sure. Baba Rahman is in the squad. I didn't think he was still around. But Tariq Lamptey, who decided to opt for Ghana, and I respect that for Tariq Lamptey. Hudson-Odoi had the same option and opportunity and refused, and that's shocking, and I don't see why he done that. He wants to wait for England. I don't think he's getting into the England team, mate. You had a chance to get into the Ghana team and become a hero. He chose not. Tariq Lamptey, though, smart. So fair play to him. The other names that people might know and will know of, Thomas Partey is definitely going to be a talisman in that Ghanaian midfield. Andre Ayew, who is playing in Al Sadd at the moment, his career is starting to take on. I think we're reaching the end of the Ayews. Jordan Ayew at Crystal Palace, he is in the squad too. Got a couple of other good lads. Felix Afena-Gyan, who plays at Roma. And I do think that Partey, who's having a blinding season at Arsenal, is the man that Ghana are going to look to in the midfield for some stability. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. If Ghana can get themselves past Portugal, then I think they've got good hopes for the whole tournament. Portugal are not going to be easy. I do see Portugal winning this, but I think Ghana are going to give it a good go. I don't like betting against the African teams. I really don't. But I think Portugal will win this, and I'm going with a score of 3-1. Not to say Ghana will play terribly. I think they're going to play well, decent. I just think Portugal are definitely going to be a team to look at, to possibly give the big boys a run for their money to go all the way. I'm talking semi-final, final here. So we'll see what Portugal do. And to round it off, the tournament favourites for me, Brazil against Serbia. Now, this Brazilian team, if I go through the squad, it should be illegal for me to read these names. You know, I'm going to start off with Serbia. We'll end with Brazil, because the Brazilian team speaks for itself. I don't need to say anything. You could pluck out 11 names out of a hat from the Brazilian squad and go, yep, cool, I got a team. With Serbia, good lads in terms of stability, in terms of group cohesion, the way that they play. Serbia, all these teams that were ex-Yugoslavia, that region, are good technical ballers. You saw Croatia, for example, and we'll get to Croatia in the video later on. But the whole area around that part of Europe is where I feel like they have a lot of classy and technical footballers, Serbia being one of them. Serbia, who used to have Ivanovic, you remember Ivanovic? But now they've got a couple of good guys on their team that are well known, especially the main man that they're looking to up top to cause some sort of havoc is Mitrovic, who's been very, very good for Fulham in the Premier League. Mitrovic has been fantastic. Some of the other lads that I can read out, Vlahovic, Juventus, top man. Luka Jovic, Fiorentina, who was expected to be targeted by quite a lot of big clubs during the summer. Kostic at Juventus is another one. Tadic of Ajax is another one. They've got good lads. A very, very good group. Not a very high level group, but they're all at similar level. They're all in a similar sort of I don't want to say the best of the best, not playing for Man City and Real Madrid and all that, but the next level down is where you find all of the Serbians. And I think together that means there isn't one leader or talisman or superstar on the team. Everyone is at the same level and playing for each other. And I think that's what normally tends to help Serbia. But against Brazil, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Serbia. I'm sorry. When I look at this Brazil team, I mean, they just to give you guys context, their choices in goal are Alisson and Ederson. One of those are the number 2. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Who plays between Alisson and Ederson? I don't know who you go to. You know, I feel sorry for Weatherton, who plays for Palmeiras. He's not going to get a game. But when you look at the rest of their squad, Dani Alves is there for the experience. I don't expect him to play, but Dani Alves is there. Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Danilo, Alex Telles, Alexandro, Miliciao, Bremer, Bruno Guimaraes, Casemiro, Paqueta, Fabinho, Fred. People look at Fred and go, oh, just Fred, he's an imposter. Ribeiro, Neymar, Gabriel Jesus, Vinicius, Anthony, Richarlison, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Martinelli, Pedro. Throw it in the bin. No. You know, I might just stop these videos. It's not worth it. Brazil going to win the World Cup. Just hand it to them. Hand it to them, man. Hand it to them. I would be shocked if these guys don't win the World Cup. That squad is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. I don't feel like they're giving anyone a chance here. This is stupid. I hope, right, it would be the biggest shock. I think more than Saudi Arabia, Argentina, if Serbia can beat Brazil tomorrow. Actually, is it bigger than Saudi Arabia? Probably not. But this Brazil team is so well equipped that if anyone beats them, it's a shock. So I'm gonna keep this one simple. I'm thinking Brazil are gonna pace Serbia just with the talent that they have. I'm going 4-0. Just the start of the tournament. Nice little 4-0. 4-0 Brazil. And that rounds off my preview for tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts down below and how you think it's all going to go down. Much appreciated for watching. Don't forget, the video later on will be the review of today, where we talk about Germany, Japan, Morocco, Croatia, Spain, Costa Rica, everything that went down today. I will make sure that I cover. The other game obviously being Belgium versus Canada as well. So make sure you're here for that later on after that game is finished. And I'll see all of you then. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you've enjoyed this. See you later on. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.